Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry told a story about a man named Iki Kurogane who intended to become a magic knight. However, he had no magic talent, and his power was fragile, so he was considered the weakest person at the Tokyo Hagen Knight Academy. Then came a princess from the Vermilion Kingdom. Her name was Stella Vermilion. Stella intended to attend Tokyo's Hagen Knight Academy. Then when Iki returned to his room, suddenly there was Stella in his room. Iki was very lucky because he could see a beautiful view in the morning. As a result, he was slapped by Stella. After that, the principal there said that the two of them would live in one room. However, Stella did not accept it, and there was a debate between them. The headmaster advised them to duel, and the one who lost would obey the winner's orders for the rest of his life. Then their battle began. During the fight, Iki was cornered by Stella. However, Iki used blade steel to imitate Stella's sword style, so Iki managed to attack her, but her body was protected by powerful magic energy. In the end, Stella used her fire magic to attack Iki. However, Iki used Irushura and finally managed to defeat Stella. In the end, he ran out of magical energy. After that, Stella began to accept Iki because she was amazed by Iki's efforts and hard work to become even stronger. So Stella began to like Iki and would live in the same room with him. Furthermore, their teacher said that the academy would hold a competition to choose the 6 strongest people who would participate in the 7 Stars Festival. Then Iki's younger sister named Shizuku Kurogane also came. When they met, she suddenly attacked Iki warmly. So Shizuku and Stella fought over Iki, and a fight ensued. As a result, they were both punished by the principal for cleaning the restroom for a week. After that, Iki told Stella about his past, where in the Kurogane family, there were always talented children, but only Iki had no talent in magic. So he was always ignored and not considered by the whole family, except for his sister Shizuku. However, his grandfather was a samurai who was hailed as a Japanese hero, and he accepted Iki and encouraged him to improve. So Iki intended to be as strong as his grandfather and would not give up on his dream of becoming a magic knight. After that, they had fun and practiced swordsmanship together. Soon, Stella received a message that she would fight Momotani during the academy match later. Then Iki and Stella went shopping with Shizuku and her roommate Naji Arisuin. They also shopped and ate at a mall, but on the other hand, some criminals wanted to rob the mall. While Iki and Nagi were in the toilet, the criminals suddenly attacked the place. Luckily, Nagi used her powers so they could hide in the shadows. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Stella and Shizuku were being held hostage. Then there was a little boy who the villain wanted to hurt. Seeing this, Stella immediately saved him, so she had to face the leader of the criminals. The leader managed to attack Stella and cornered her. He also threatened Stella to prostrate before him so that the hostages could be saved. Stella accepted it. Meanwhile, Iki became very angry and wanted to attack him directly. However, he was stopped by Naji because Shizuku was making a barrier. Then Shizuku activated her barrier, allowing Iki and the others to attack all of the thugs. And finally, they managed to beat them. But there was still one villain who threatened them. Suddenly, someone came to help them, so the criminals were successfully paralyzed. The person who helped them earlier was Shizuya Kirihaya, a former participant in last year's 7 Stars Festival. It turned out that he would be Iki's first opponent in the match. Furthermore, the first match was Stella against Momotani, but Stella was able to win the match easily. Meanwhile, Iki started feeling nervous because it was his first match upon entering the academy. Then the battle began. Kirihaya's ability allowed him to disguise his presence so he could shoot arrows without being seen. That was why Iki was so severely injured and so cornered. Also, the audience looked down on him a lot and laughed at him, so that made Stella's anger explode, and she gave Iki encouragement. As a result, Iki began to fight him seriously and managed to fend off all of his attacks. Then Iki chased after Kirihaya and intended to cut him down. So Kirihaya immediately went into a mental state after dealing with Iki. In the end, Iki managed to win his match. After that, Stella gave him a gift, and they became a couple. Furthermore, Iki managed to win 5 times in a row in the match. This made him famous among women, so he was hated by the male students and they all attacked Iki. But Iki could beat them all. However, they instead wanted to become Iki students and learned martial arts from him. Afterward, they headed to the swimming pool because Iki would be training them there. But after that, there was an argument between Iki and Stella. In the end, they made up with each other. Then, when they came home from the swimming pool, Eki received a message that he would face Renren Tomaru in his 6th match. Meanwhile, Stella would meet Ikazuchi Saiju, and the two of them would face the student council administrator. Then the fight began. It could be seen that the student council administrators had powerful strengths, but Eki and Stella managed to beat them both. Then there was a woman who kept following Eki, and she was called Ayase Ayatsuji. Then she told Eki that she wanted to practice with Eki so that her sword techniques would become stronger. Eki accepted it and would train her. While practicing, Eki intended to fix Ayase's stance, and he instead groped at other parts of Ayase's body. However, thanks to that, Ayase's attacks became faster. Then a man appeared who was looking for Ayase. He was called Kurado Kurashiki, and he hated sworders. That was why when he saw Eki, he immediately attacked him, causing Eki's head to be injured.
With pleasure.
But Eki ignored him because he didn't want to make a fuss. Then when they wanted to go home, Eki suddenly got a message that he would fight Ayase in match 7. So Ayase could no longer meet Eki. Then before the match, Ayase invited Eki to meet her on the school roof. Suddenly she threw herself down. Seeing this, Eki used his signature technique, Irushura, to save Ayase, and he managed to save her. Ayase did this so that Eki could not use Irushura, which could only be done once daily, so that in later matches, Eki would not be able to use his signature technique. Ayase did this to win against Eki. He wanted to be able to face Kurashiki and took back her dodo from Kurashiki. Then Eki's battle with Ayase began. During the battle, Ayase placed mines in the battle area. Eki realized it, but he still had trouble dodging her attacks, so Eki became seriously injured. Then Eki used all his sword skills and managed to attack Ayase without using Irushura and managed to beat her. Not only that, but Eki also advised her and would help her win back her dodo from Kurashiki. Next, Eki, with Ayase and Stella, headed to the dojo. Eki challenged Kurashiki to a duel and wanted to take the dodo from Kurashiki. So there was a fierce battle naturally because Kurashiki had entered the top 8 at the 7 Stars Festival. Eki also fought happily because he was fighting a powerful enemy. Then Eki used a secret technique from Ayase's dodo, Teni Muho, and succeeded in injuring Kurashiki. Eki managed to seize Ayase's dodo. After that, they vacationed and headed to the training ground together. However, they were told to clean up the training ground with the student council administrators. Then they wanted to see the waterfall there, but Stella got sick and wanted to pass out on the way. As a result, the two of them took shelter in the hut. At that moment, Eki had a satisfying sexual relationship with Stella. However, a villain was after them, and golems attacked them. Eki managed to attack him, but the golems only increased in number. Luckily, the school administrators came to help him. Not only that, but the student council president was also there, and he easily defeated all of the golems. He was named Tukatudo, the strongest knight in the academy. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Shizuku received a message that she would fight Tuka in the match. Furthermore, the fight between Shizuku and Tuka looked very fierce and fantastic, because both of them were very strong, and Shizuku managed to keep up with Tuka. However, after that, Tuka managed to corner Shizuku and injured her. Because Tuka's movement was so fast that it gave Shizuku a hard time, Shizuku tried to bring out all her strength. However, Tuka was very strong, so Tuka won the match. Furthermore, it was revealed that a criminal wanted to bring down Eki, namely Akaza the cunning old fox. He was ordered directly by Iki's father to get rid of Eki, so he spread a lot of lies about Stella's relationship with Eki. After that, Eki was taken in by Akaza, and he was imprisoned temporarily because Akaza had high power there. Eki was always investigated and always cornered by Akaza. Not only that, but Eki also played matches there continuously, so Stella had to keep fighting together while winning all of her matches. After that, Eki met his father, but his father did not expect anything from Eki, so Eki became sad and he lost his will to fight. Then the final battle where he had to fight Tuka to get into the 7-Star Festival. He was also asked to defeat Tuka, and if he succeeded, the investigation would be stopped and Eki would be free. But if he lost, he must stop pursuing his dream of becoming a magic knight. Eki accepted it even though his mental and physical condition was not at their prime. And Akaza's plan worked because his goal was to put Eki down mentally. Then the final match began, which will be broadcast throughout Japan, whereas Eki instead had to run towards the academy. What cruel treatment, But Ikki rose again thanks to the support of his friends, namely the power of Nakama and the power of love. Ikki Kurogane rose again and will face Tukatudo, the Academy's strongest knight. The fight started. Ikki immediately used Irushura while Tuka used her Reikiri. This match will undoubtedly be ended with one strongest attack from the two of them. The match ended quickly, and Ikki Kurogane managed to beat Tukatudo. Ikki managed to gain entry to the 7 Stars Festival. However, at the last moment, Akaza intended to kill Ikki. Luckily, Stella got rid of him, so Ikki met Stella again. Not only that, Ikki immediately proposed to Stella, and she accepted. So it all ends happily. Furthermore, the 6 of them will become representatives at the 7 Stars Festival, and Ikki, once considered the weakest, became the strongest in the academy, so that he was admired by all the students there, and ended the anime Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry. Thank you to those who have watched this video to the end. See you in the following video.